Hi guys, my name's Katie and I'm the face behind Kiana Brows, and I'm back here today at Lauren Elizabeth's, and we've decided to talk to you guys about microblading and semi-permanent makeup. I specialise in semi-permanent makeup, and today I'd like to just talk you through how you can make sure that you're going to a practice that is safe and are carrying out the right procedures for you. So when you decide that you want semi-permanent makeup, it's really important that you check out the person that is going to be doing your procedure. Everybody who carries out this procedure has to be licensed through the local council. To obtain a licence, the council have to come out and give you a visit, and you have to demonstrate to them that you have the relevant qualifications to be able to carry out the procedures that you are telling your clients that you can do. The council will also expect that you do certain checks with your clients before you actually allow them to get onto the bed and have the procedure. So anywhere that you go, the minimum that you should be expecting is to be asked before you actually have the procedure is for a full consultation. The consultations that we do here at Lauren Elizabeth's consist of 4 main steps. So the first step that we would go through with people is your consent and medical history. And in here we ask a range of questions that go through any allergies that you may have, any current medications that you are on, and sort of any illnesses that you've had. You may wonder why we actually ask you these questions, but it's vitally important that we get this information. So this information allows us to sort of ascertain whether the procedure is right for you. There are certain medications that can affect the way the pigment actually takes in your skin. And there are certain illnesses that would actually be a contraindication that would mean we would have to amend the procedure for your safety or even decline the procedure. So if you go somewhere and they don't ask you about your medical history and they don't go through the risks, the pros and the cons of the treatment, then I would definitely say avoid that technician. The second stage of our consultation is actually talking to the client about the healing process. You will have all seen within the healing process lots of pictures probably on Facebook, Instagram and around where people leave the salon with absolutely beautiful brows. They're quite prominent and they're quite dark. They are stunning when you first leave, usually, if you go to a good technician. However, there is a whole process of getting your body to accept the pigments, and it's a stage-by-stage process. It's really important that you understand this before you undergo the procedure, because part of the healing process is that your brows will scab, albeit for a few days, but they will. Then they can become quite crusty and peel, and then they can become quite patchy. Once the patchiness erades and your skin has completely exfoliated and re-healed over the top, your true colour will come through. Some technicians will recommend that you go back for a top-up in about 6 weeks. I personally wouldn't recommend that. It is a 2-stage treatment, so there are 2 parts to the process, but for me, you need at least 8 weeks to be able to see how that pigment has implanted into the skin. And I would really advise against anybody revisiting a technician before that time, because your skin has a whole healing process. It's the largest organ in the body, and you want to make sure that the chemical that has been put into your skin, the tattoo pigment, has had time to settle. If it hasn't had time and you're going for your top up too soon, you aren't going to be as sure of the overall outcome at the end of the treatment. So I leave an 8-week break in between, and all of my clients get one of these cards to take home at consultation, which they can refer to, and they can also contact me at any time throughout their healing process. What I also discuss with my clients is pre and post treatment advice. This again is really, really important. All of my clients receive this leaflet, and again they get to take it home. And it tells you how to prepare for your treatment, because that's really important, because micropigmentation and microblading is cutting the skin. So simple things like the evening before, not to drink alcohol because alcohol thins the blood. If you are taking vitamins such as cod liver oil or oil of evening primrose, again, they can thin the blood. So these are all the things that technicians should be checking with you. And it also tells you what to expect: heal, peel, fade. So as we said earlier, when you walk out, your brows will be lovely and bright, but they will actually fade, and that is the outlook that you would expect. So I often have ladies who come to me and say, I've been somewhere and had my brows done and I think I need a top up because they're no longer as dark as they were on the day that they had them. And that's when it hasn't been explained to them that yes, you will have lovely brows in a nice shape, but they're not going to be as dark as what they were on the day that you actually had the treatment, and that is something to be expected. You can obviously go for tints and shapes and still have HD brows once your implant has taken place if you want them darkening, and you can still put brow pencil on them once you've achieved the healing process, but don't expect them to always be as dark as they were on the day of your actual treatment, because that won't happen. Then on the day of the treatment, it's really important that you have a treatment plan completed. So this is where the technician will complete details of the actual treatment. So they will record in here information such as what your desired outcome is, if it's your first treatment. And following your consultation, they'll look at your skin, they'll look at your Fitzpatrick skin type, the tone of your skin, because all of this is extremely important. They should also record the colour that they're using, the pigment, and the needles. And any needles and blades that are being used will have a lot and expiry date. This is extremely important so that you know that all of the metal that's being used on your skin has been properly sterilised. At the end of your treatment, you should be given aftercare advice. And this is where products should be given to you to help you with your healing. So I have products that are included as part of the price for clients to take away, and these are healing gels and balms, vitamin A and D. And then I also have more expensive products that clients can purchase. With these, you have the option. You don't have to buy them because you do have a small pouch that you take away with you. But with the Microbalm, which is a much more expensive product, it helps prepare your skin for your top up, and it also has a factor 50 protection in there. And again, that's something that your technician should be talking to you about. One of the questions that we ask is, do you have any imminent holiday plans? And if you do, they shouldn't be recommending that you have a treatment, because the sun will fade your brows. So you're going to be paying out money for expensive brows that literally are not going to last because the sun is going to fade them. One of the things that I've also been asked to talk about today, because we do have a lot of inquiries about this, is colour correction. So I am having an ever vast growing number of ladies coming to me who have had their brows done, and initially they were lovely, but they're healing in either odd colours or they're blurring. So they can heal in colours such as pink, purple, blue and green. Sometimes they can also go an ashy grey. One of the reasons for this is you do have a two-stage process. So when you first have your treatment, there are certain pigments, we don't know how they are going to react with the skin. However, all technicians should be trained in colour and should be trained in understanding colour and how it works with the skin tones. Different pigments will react in the skin in different ways. So I've been trained in skin colour and skin pigment, and also inks and how they actually react with the skin. And one of the things that I often refer to my clients with to help you understand are colour charts like this. So here we have a colour chart that actually has a range of colours that do help self-correct tinges of colour that pull through the skin. The reason that this actually happens is because pigments are made up of a range of colours, and their base colours often consist of orange, red, green, purple and blue. what can actually happen is that your body can absorb certain colours, and with some people they actually reject other colours and don't absorb them into the skin. So if you have a pigment that's got a blue base and the brown has faded over time, you could potentially be left with a blue tinge. This doesn't happen to everybody, but it can happen if your skin tone isn't the right match for the colour. It can happen with certain medications. So it's very important that you've got the trust in the technician that they know how to correct this. So certain colours can be corrected, and I've had a large number of ladies coming to me. The two main colours that seem to actually turn are red and blue. And what I would do is have a look at their skin, have a detailed conversation about what the circumstances were with the treatment, obviously look at their lifestyle, any medication that they're on, and then I would recommend a colour correction technique. And that might be using an opposite colour to either cool the red down or warm the blue up. So the two most popular colours we use for that are a golden colour, which will put warmth back into an ashy brow, or an olive colour, which will take the heat, the redness out of a red or pink brow. But it is very important that you understand that this is a procedure that can be carried out. And also sometimes the colour is so significant that we can't do that, that the brow is so saturated with colour that the only option is removal. Again, that's a technique that I'm trained in, and there are various options. So one of the things that I offer to clients is a salt and saline removal technique. And basically we just implant the salt and saline into the brow where the hair strokes have been put, or the ombre, and it should lighten the brow significantly. Sometimes you can need 2 or 3 depending on how deep and the kind of pigment the technician has used previously. And usually I'm not aware of the pigment that they have used unless they've informed you of that at your consultation. And again, that's something that really I advise all my clients, you know, always understand what the pigment is that people are using, because if ever you want to change technicians, that is important technical information that will help that technician understand what they need to do to correct your brows if they do need correcting at a later date. So thank you for taking the time to listen to the information today. I hope you found it very helpful. If you've got any questions, please just comment below and I will get back to you as soon as possible, and look out for more videos in the future.